balance now is,
Yeah, how much is that now?
153,000.
Because we don't have a balance sheet, you know, like every time we get a balance sheet, this is the first time that it's not here, which shows all those numbers.
I didn't,
You don't have
sorry,
to prepare this?
I didn't, oh, no.
But can, Joe Newfield, can we get a balance sheet like we get every meeting?
We didn't do a balance sheet today because we're doing the budget. And the budget was already, all the numbers in the budget, year to date, were already in the printing.
Okay, but it doesn't
And
give
we
us
didn't
that
have,
first.
and we have other bills
page.
that came afterwards, so we didn't do a balance sheet today.
Okay.
So,
But-
next meeting.
Will we
Next
have
meeting
it?
we'll have one.
Okay, all right. So do we know, you know, like at the end of this, budget versus actual? In January, I think in February, we were at 96%. Do you know what that percentage is today?
I'm sorry, 96%, or do you mean,
Yeah, in January, it showed we spent
96,000?
91.2% of our budget.
oh,
In February, we showed we spent 96% of our budget. So do we know what our budget is spent percentages today is 110%?
I haven't done it as a percentage.
Okay.
But I have projected to year
Okay.
end, and that's where I came up with a $47,000 deficit at year end.
Okay.
By projecting remaining expenses for the next 2
Till
months.
May, to the
Yes.
end. Okay, so that's where we go.
It's an estimate, of course, but I would say probably the only real, and it's not going to be a large difference, is snow.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm getting it. You're helping me get it, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Roger Flood again, I had one other question, and you said the loan has not been entered into. If we do have $35,000 in a fund balance, why not just borrow less money and pay less interest, and just use this money directly? I guess that's a
Well,
question.
that'll be determined by what is decided and going ahead on the dock. So I know if there could be another quote that would come in so much different than all the others, that would be a different
Right, but
story.
I'm just saying that the concept of borrowing money when you, so we're borrowing $30,000 and then we're taking
No,
$30,000.
we're borrowing 150.
No, but right, $30,000 of the 150 we already have in the bank account. So it just seems another approach is to
I see what
borrow
you're saying.
less and keep the
Well,
cash and just pay. Yeah.
Can I answer that? At the meeting.
Wait, what are you answering?
Well,
No, Ron, would you like to answer that question? You're,
At the meeting, the bond man stated
This-
that 150,000 is way too low, so if we lower it, it's a hard sell to get an investor to buy those bonds because they're not making any money. They're accounting, it'll cost them more to service the loan and they'll make no profit, so they won't lend that money. So they have to charge a higher interest rate.
that's not good enough.
One other addendum though, that along the lines of what you're asking about street work. I just want to clarify, the number that I gave you, the 50,000, did not include drainage work, which is about another 10,000 that's budgeted for next year. Yes.
This 10% balance part of the whole budget, if I'm getting this correctly, that's a tighter number, a smaller number than would be optimal. And I'm just wondering what has, in earlier budgets, how much, what percentage of the budget have we had to work, more to work with, or has it been more? And also, how does that 10%, if you have the knowledge, I don't know, how would that compare to, say, other small municipalities, say, that don't have commercial, commercial endeavors like Port Jefferson, say like Belterre or Oldfield, relative to their budget?
I honestly don't know what other villages have. All of you have probably read, the issues that are going on with regard to school districts having excessive reserves. The question as to what is a reasonable reserve is a matter of judgment, and it's a matter to be determined by residents, by the board, as to what is adequate.
And what has it been, if you, I don't know if you know, what has it been in, in the recent past
Well, it has
in
been,
our
it
village?
has been 130, 150. You're talking, 30%. So it has been quite a bit high.
So we've had a little more comfortability with a
Yes.
slush fund is, I don't know, a better word for it.
Yes, it's a rainy day fund. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
Do I have a motion to close the public hearing for the proposed,
Second.
okay. All in favor? Okay. Call the business meeting to order. It's 7:25. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The village election is on June 19th, from 12 to 9. We're looking for 3 inspectors, Joe.
We're looking for 3 inspectors.
Anyone who's interested should contact the clerk's office. Reports, public safety.
Public safety report for the last 30 days. We documented 6 incidents, one which was a landlord-tenant dispute, 1 emergency medical service call, 1 domestic disturbance, an open front door of a residence, and 2 suspicious vehicle reports, which turned out to be the same vehicle. On the second report of that vehicle, within an hour, we were able to identify the occupant and owner of the vehicle and determined it wasn't suspicious and that he had legal and proper business in the village. We issued 3 parking warnings, 3 summonses, 3 building and zoning violation summonses in conjunction with the building department, 1 quality of life warning for advertising, and we did 3 courtesy house checks and 5 requests for special parking.
Ron, do you have anything you want to add?
Nothing more, thank you.
Joe?
I checked, and as of now, there's no, in the one case that we have, which is the Ashley Homes versus the ZBA, there hasn't been a decision yet.
Okay.
The village made a motion to dismiss, we're waiting for the judge to decide. I worked with code enforcement on a couple of cases that they have during the past month, and I also, I got a whole slew of local laws from trustee Coppelson, which I'm trying to piece together. It looks like he really spent a lot of time on it, and I'm working on it, again, I'm a little busy for about a week, but anytime you want to get together after that, we could swing by. And that's all I have, unless you have a question.
John, was there anything from the Harbor Task Force, or it's too early?
No, there's no specific information relative right now. There will be no meeting this month,
Okay,
but we'll have one next month.
okay, thank you. And Roger, you said Roger left? No, okay.
I got that here. Speaking council. Okay, this is a report of the Poquott Village Tree Working Group. Members Roger Flood, Mike Schaefer, Ted Masters, and Diana Padilla. The streets and parks and streets of the village of Poquott are host to a rich collection of trees due in part to the history and development of the village. In particular, streets on the eastern and western sides of the village have not been widened as the village developed. There have also been several large estates in the village, and the state roads were apparently lined with stately trees. Park and street trees play an important role in maintaining the environment of Poquott, especially providing shade during sunny summer months and providing habitat for a range of species in both terrestrial and shore settings. Trees also serve to provide visual breaks between houses, which is particularly important when houses are close together. Let me just cut to the chase on this thing. This is a draft for the establishment of a tree board for the village of Poquott. Section 1 title, Establishment of a Tree Board for the Village of Poquott. The purpose and intent of this local law is to establish a tree board in order to have a mechanism to provide long-term, high-quality and sound urban forestry management for village street and park trees. The tree board will develop sound management policies for the village, will implement those policies, will develop yearly and long-term plans for maintaining existing trees and planting new trees, and will be a resource for tree management and for training, education, and advice for trees in the village. Definition: street trees. Street trees are herein defined as trees, shrubs, bushes, and all other woody vegetation on land lying between property lines on either side of all streets, avenues, and ways within the village. Park trees. Park trees are herein defined as trees, shrubs, bushes, and all other woody vegetation in public parks having individual names in all areas owned by the village or to which the village public has been free access to the park. Section 5, creation and establishment of the village tree board. The village tree board shall be formed for the village of Poquott, which shall consist of 5 members, residents of Poquott, who will be appointed by the mayor with the approval of trustees. Term of office: there will be 5 members of the board, and the term will be 5 years. Each tree member will be appointed 1 year, except that 5 members with terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years shall be appointed to the first board. In that event, that a vacancy shall occur during the term of any member, the successor shall be appointed for the unexpired portion of the term. Members of the board will serve without compensation. Duties and responsibilities: it shall be the responsibility of the board to study, investigate, counsel, develop, and update annually, and administer a written plan for the care, preservation, pruning, planting, replanting, removal, or disposition of trees and shrubs and parks along streets and other public areas, including shorelines. Such plan will be presented annually to the village trustees, and upon their acceptance and approval shall constitute the official comprehensive tree plan for the village of Poquott. The board, when requested by the trustees, shall consider investigating, make finding, report, and recommend upon any special matter of question coming within the range scope of the work. The board shall choose its own officers, make its own rules and regulations, and keep minutes of its proceedings. Majority of members shall be a quorum for the transaction of business. The tree board shall develop sound urban forestry management policies for the village. These policies shall include lists of species to be permitted as street trees and consider best practice for tree spacing, for setbacks from curves, of distance from fire hydrants. Recommendation should exist for small, medium, and large trees, should emphasize native species, and should be coordinated with Suffolk's do not sell/transfer list of invasive species. The management policies developed can be incorporated into this local law. Tree board shall also develop policies for new plantings under and within 10 lateral feet of any utility wire or over or within 5 lateral feet of any underground water line, sewer line, gas line, or other utility. The village shall have the right to plant, prune, maintain, and remove trees, plants, and shrubs within the lines of all streets, alleys, avenues, lanes, squares, and public grounds, that it may be necessary to ensure public safety or to preserve or enhance the symmetry and beauty of such public grounds. This includes the removal of invasive species and vines which can affect tree health. Village board shall remove or cause to remove or order to remove any tree or part thereof which is in an unsafe condition, or which by reason of its nature is injurious to sewers, electric power lines, gas lines, water lines, or other public improvements, or is affected by any injurious fungus, insect, or other pest. This section does not prohibit the pruning of street trees by adjacent property owners, provided that the selection and location at said trees is in accordance with the policy set forward by the tree board, and a permit or approval is obtained from the tree board. Tree topping shall be unlawful as a normal practice for any person, firm, or village department to top any street tree, park tree, or other trees on public property. Topping is defined as the severe cutting back of limbs to stubs larger than 3 inches in diameter within a tree drum to such degree as so as to remove the natural canopy and disfigure the tree. Trees severely damaged by storms or other causes, or certain trees under utility wires or other obstructions where other pruning practices are impractical shall be exempted from this ordinance at the determination of the village tree board. Every owner of any tree overhanging any street or right of way within the village shall prune the branches of the small branch. Such branches shall not obstruct the light of any street lamp or obstruct the view of any street intersection, so that there shall be a clear space of 8 feet above the surface of the street or sidewalk Said owner shall remove all dead, diseased, and dangerous trees or broken, decayed limbs which constitute a menace to the safety of the public. The village shall have the right to prune any tree or shrub on private property when it interferes with the proper spread of light along the street, from a street light, or interferes with visibility of any traffic control device or sign. The village shall have the right to cause removal of any dead, diseased trees on private property within the village when such trees constitute a hazard for life and property, or harbor insects or disease which constitute a potential threat to other trees within the village. The village tree board will notify in writing the owners of such trees. The owners can appeal any removal notice, ruling or order to the tree board, but the appeal must be based on a written opinion of a certified arborist. Removal shall be done by said owners at their expense within 60 days after the date of the service of the notice. In the event of failure to comply, the village shall have the authority to remove such trees and charge the cost to the owner's property tax notice. Removal of stumps. The stumps of trees, of street and park trees can play a role in maintaining soil stability. For some species, healthy shoots will grow from stumps. The removal of stumps shall be considered by the village board on a case-to-case, tree board on a case-to-case basis. In some cases, stumps shall be removed below the surface of the ground, so that the top of the stump shall not present a safety hazard by projecting above the surface of the ground. Shall be unlawful for any person or to prevent, delay, or interfere with any the village tree board or any of its agents while engaging in and above and about the planting, cultivating, mulching, pruning, removing vines, spraying, or removing any street trees, park trees, or trees on private grounds as authorized in it. The village tree board shall seek the advice of a certified arborist to make or review plans for tree trimming, tree removal, and tree planting. The New York State DEC supervising forester for Region 1, and also the board research for urban forestry and forest management. Trustees shall have the right to review the conduct acts and decisions of the village tree board. Any person may appeal any ruling or order of the village tree board to the trustees, who may hear the matter and make final decision. However, the first appeal should be to the village tree board as described in section 14. Any person violating any provision of this ordinance shall, upon conviction or plea, be subject to fine of not. That was what was given to me today by Bud from his tree committee.
I'll add that this tree board approach is what the DEC forester for Region 1, John Barnett, suggested as a way to formalize a structure for tree management that had some expertise potentially and in history, so they could follow along with time and develop management plans. And these are the kinds of things that the Arbor Day Foundation wants to see for their local governments do, and also what DEC pretty much requires if something like the village was going to seek a tree maintenance grant from DEC. So
Okay.
that's why we followed this approach.
Is this plan to start working with the report that we got from GEI? Or this is the
Yes,
first?
well,
okay.
this developed with that, and we talked with Mr. Warnett several times, and he came and presented some information at the village. And that's why I say he suggested this approach, and we started with a sample law that we modified, and that's what we got by doing that approach.
Okay, and are you meeting monthly?
It's been sporadic.
Okay. Are you looking for another member? You said 5 members, you have 4, are you looking for
Well, I
another?
don't know if we're the tree board or not.
Okay.
We're, and what, I think if there are some feedback about our approach from the trustees, then we can meet after that.
Okay, so maybe we'll take this, we'll review it, and when we can put this on the agenda for May for any changes that we saw that need to be done.
Yeah.
And then I can always email you after, if you're not here.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You want a copy? Oh, you have a copy, yeah.
Can you send that to me in Word,
Yes.
please?
Okay, public comments?
I just have two questions. The difference in the dock was over 100,000 from the original bid. What changed along the way that it's 100,000 more or 150,000 more?
The scope of the entire dock changed. We put in ADA ramp, we had,
Okay, so that wasn't in the original
no,
plans?
it was
Okay.
not, it was just the,
All right.
just the dock.
Okay. And I just wanted to thank our new treasurer, Ron Polito, for actually showing up, because our other treasurer never showed up. And I want to thank you for educating us and helping us in a way that we understand, because we didn't have that in our prior two treasurers, so I just want to say thank you. And thank you to the board
Thank you.
for hiring him.
Any other comments? Roger?
There's a street light out on Van Brunt Manor Road where Windswept comes in, and I think this is the fourth year I've reported it being out. The light got lost when the pole fell over during this wind event, and the pole went back up but not the light, and it gets pretty dark there, and a lot of people walk along the road, and not so many when it's so dark.
We have to go back and look at it to see if we, because we've reported this multiple times. So.
No.
Not windswept?
Not-
That was the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, so
Do
the
we need to
whole
have 3 lights? Joe, is that still the deal?
Okay.
So Chestnut is still in there. That's
They all out today.
so we
I
have,
sent a list of 5 out today.
oh, we have 5. Oh,
Okay, we'll add it to the
Okay,
list.
so this needs the whole thing, the arm and everything.
Okay.
You can do basically look at the replacement of the bulbs, not the arms and fixtures, et cetera, so we have to go with that.
Any other comments? John?
What is the procedure for reporting street lights out?
You just
Tell
tell the
you?
clerk's office.
Well,
You
right
can tell
down
me, you can tell the clerk's office. you
opposite
can
my
tell them.
house, NYT number 13 and 14 are out.
Opposite your house, John,
Yes,
on Van Brunt,
yes.
not ours, Town of Brookhaven.
It's Brookhaven.
Well, yes, it's the Brookhaven side, but the light is out. Does that mean we can't
Yeah,
handle it?
Yeah,
Town of Brookhaven.
yeah, that's not us.
So what's the procedure for that?
I would imagine call Town of Brookhaven, right? Yeah, Town of Brookhaven.
One other question. Can someone tell me the most likely terms of a loan that would be obtained for the dock?
We don't know what the terms are yet. Now,
You have no idea? There's been no
well, we knew what they were
target?
when it was $150,000, but we don't know what it is now. We have to rebid it out.
So you have no information on the interest rate?
No, the interest rate when we had, was for $150,000 for 5 years was 2.75%, but that's gonna change if the amount's different.
2.75.
But we have a CEO and a chairman of a local bank that lives here in Poquott, and I met with them, and they said they can do better than that. So that was when it was at 150,000. He felt that so the worst scenario at 150,000 was 2.75.
But he implied a better
Yeah.
term than that? Or
Yeah.
a better rate, I should say.
Better rate for the interest.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, resolutions? Resolution 04-2018-1, resolution adopting April 12, 2018 agenda as printed, so moved. All in favor? Motion carries.
Resolution number 04-2018-2, resolution accepting the monthly reports from April 12, 2018. So moved.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Resolution 04-2018-3, resolution adopting the minutes from March 1st, 2018 work session of the meeting of the Board of Trustees. So moved. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Resolution 04-2018-4, resolution adopting the minutes from March 1st, 2018 business session of the meeting of the Board of Trustees. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution 04-2018-5, resolution adopting the minutes from March 22nd, 2018 work session of the meeting of the Board of Trustees. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Resolution 04-2018-6, resolution accepting the monthly reports of the village public safety, village treasurer, village attorney, and report of the village Poquott Village Tree Working Group. So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Do we have to amend that first to say as amended? It doesn't say that.
Or should I change for now, it just says
It
report?
should be, so there is a motion to amend, it should be a motion to amend.
Okay.
Was the motion seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can do it. So it's a motion to amend resolution number 04/2018
Six.
I'm sorry, apologize, to add the language stated by the mayor.
All in favor?
So moved by, we need a trustee in the front.
All right, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
All in
And-
favor?
Okay, so now the resolution's amended, and now you could vote on the amended resolution.
Okay. So should I say it again?
It's a motion to adopt the resolution as amended. Somebody make the motion, please.
Motion to adopt the resolution as amended.
Whatever you say.
Now
Yeah.
we need a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go.
3 times, get that. Okay, 7.
Resolution 04/2018-7, resolution directing Clerk Newfield to schedule and notice accordingly public hearing for May 10th, 2018 for changes to local law, Chapter 50, unsafe buildings and structures. So moved.
Oh, yeah. Motion carries.
Who's seconded
I second.
Yeah.
Resolution 04/2018-8, resolution to schedule the Village of Poquott Board of Trustees meetings as follows to be held in Village Hall. Work session, 1 hour before each Board of Trustees meeting, regular session May 10th, 2018 at 7 PM. So moved. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Resolution 04/2018-9, resolution approving the mayor to sign the new contract for 2018-2019 for Small Business Solution. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution 04/2018-10, resolution approving the mayor to sign the new contract for 2018-2019 with Big Yank Cleaning. So moved.
All in favor? Oh, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution 04/2018-11, resolution adopting the fiscal year 2018-2019 preliminary budget as proposed by the village treasurer Ron Polito, CPA. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Resolution 04/2018-12, resolution directing Clerk Newfield to schedule call-ahead for 2018 season. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We
table that till May?
You go table that to May. And then Joe, you want to do the last one?
Okay, here we go. Village of Poquott, 8 bills to be paid to be approved. Dated April 8th, on March 8th, 2018. Expiators, $59.99. Big Yank Cleaning, $330.24. The Lead Auto, $437.07. Nelson Fulton Voorhees, Community Dock, $3,100, 18 and 75. New York State Insurance Fund, bill of $994.07, we had a credit of $1,054.66 returned from the insurance company on workman's comp. Optimal, $94.90. PSE&G, streetlights, $444.52. PSE&G pole rental, $12.43. West Bank, Gulf credit card for public safety, $285.55. 8 bills totaling $4,722.86.
Hey, Joe, didn't somebody say last meeting that we would get Optimum for free because we're a village?
No, we're not gonna do that.
Or no?
No, we went through this.
There's Verizon.
So, no conflict, just for,
Yes.
7 unpaid bills to be
Yes.
approved
we are.
as of March 15. Vern Jacoby, photo video, 150. New York State Insurance, here's that insurance fund again, Phyllis, sorry. She had a list of credit. Quickway Sanitation, January, $7,061.12. February, $7,061.12. Times Beacon Record, variance notice, 8094. Wellsback Electric, street light repairs, pole 9 and 10, total of $1677. Total for the category of 7 bills, $15,969.59. 10 unpaid bills to be approved as of March 22. Polo Middleton and McCormick LLP legal representation, $4,139.74. Newfield Joseph, petty cash for replenishment, $130.78. New York State Insurance Fund again. Office of State Controller, Justice Court, February $140. Suffolk County Water Authority, $31.86. Suffolk County Water Authority, $23.40. Suffolk County Water Authority, $39.76. That's 3 parts. Town of Brookhaven Highway Department, salt and sand for February, $1,293.18. Verizon Wireless bill, public safety, $61.68. 10 bills, total $5,799.81.
Can I just ask you something? Why are we giving money to the comptroller's office? Shouldn't they be giving us money?
In this case, we had to give them,
Okay, I got it.
we normally get it back this time. Arbor Vista Tree Care, removing a down tree on Singing Wood, $75. New York State Insurance Fund, they have it. BSE&G, electric for Village Hall and Trustees Park, $274.99. BSE&G, California Park, $22.27. Staples Bill, $119.97 for supplies. Times Beacon Record, documented public law, public hearing bid. Notification, $277.58. Triad Telecom bill for telephone lines, $127.89. 7 bills for $837.11. 1 bill, March 31st, Home Depot, total of $107.70. Blacktop for patching. 8 bills to be billed dated April 5. Axe Creators, backup on the system, $59.99 to back us up to the cloud. Big Gang Cleaning Service, $375. 4D Landscaping, $1,850.70. Green Jacoby Videography, $300. New York State Insurance Fund, again that credit. Optimum bill, $94.90. Quick Way Sanitation, snow removal, $2,875. March garbage removal, $7,061.12 for a total of $9,936.12. Small Business Management Solutions, March bookkeeping, $595. 8 bills totaling $13,151.12. Last one. 8 bills are approved as of April 12. In that credit. Just broke up PL.